Taking responsibility early in life is one of the most crucial lessons young people can learn. It is the foundation of personal growth, success, and fulfillment. When you take responsibility, you acknowledge that your life is shaped by your choices, actions, and responses rather than blaming external circumstances, people, or luck. This mindset shift empowers young individuals to stop seeing themselves as victims of their environment and instead as active participants in creating their future. Responsibility isn't just about admitting mistakes, it's about owning every aspect of your life, your successes, your failures, your habits, and your decisions. The earlier young people adopt this mindset, the sooner they will unlock their potential to shape their lives intentionally. One of the key barriers to taking responsibility is the tendency to blame external factors. It's easy to blame parents, teachers, society, or even luck for one's circumstances. But the truth is, while external factors can influence a situation, your response to them is always within your control. For example, if a student performs poorly in school, they could blame their teacher, the curriculum, or even their classmates for distractions. However, a responsible mindset would lead them to ask, what could I have done differently to improve my performance? Did I study effectively? Did I seek help when I needed it by shifting the focus inward instead of outward? Young people develop a sense of control over their lives. This perspective empowers them to take corrective action instead of feeling helpless or bitter. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. Self-awareness plays a critical role in this process. Young people need to ask themselves tough questions. Am I putting in the effort required to achieve my goals? Am I consistent in my actions? Am I making excuses for my shortcomings? Honesty with oneself is uncomfortable, but it's a necessary step toward growth. Many young individuals fall into the trap of denial. They convince themselves that their lack of progress is someone else's fault or that they'll start taking responsibility tomorrow, but tomorrow rarely comes for those who delay self-accountability. The moment you take responsibility, you eliminate excuses and start focusing on solutions. Another vital aspect of responsibility is understanding the power of choice. Every day, young people are faced with choices, some small, some life-changing, what time to wake up, how to spend their free time, whether to prioritize studying or social media, whether to work hard or cut corners. Each choice comes with consequences, and responsibility means accepting those consequences, whether good or bad. If someone chooses to procrastinate instead of preparing for an exam, they must accept the results of that decision without blaming others. Similarly, if someone chooses to invest time in developing a skill or building healthy habits, they will enjoy the rewards of those choices. Life is essentially a series of choices, and responsibility means owning each one fully. Taking responsibility also fosters independence and resilience. Young people who adopt this mindset are better equipped to handle failures because they view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than reasons to quit. If they make a mistake, instead of hiding from it or blaming others, they ask, what can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? This growth mindset allows them to bounce back faster and stronger from failures. On the other hand, avoiding responsibility often leads to repeated mistakes because the root cause is never addressed. Owning your actions creates a cycle of self-improvement, while avoidance creates a cycle of stagnation. Additionally, responsibility builds trust and respect. Whether in school, at home, or later in professional settings, people gravitate toward individuals who demonstrate accountability. Teachers trust students who own their mistakes and take initiative. Employers value employees who don't make excuses and deliver results consistently. Relationships thrive when both parties take responsibility for their words and actions. Young people who adopt this principle early are not only preparing themselves for success, but are also becoming individuals others can rely on. Responsibility isn't just a personal benefit, it positively impacts every relationship and opportunity in life. It's also important for young people to understand that taking responsibility doesn't mean taking on unnecessary guilt or blame. There's a difference between being accountable for your choices and feeling guilty for things beyond your control. Responsibility is empowering, not burdening. It's about recognizing the areas of your life where you have control and focusing your energy there, rather than getting stuck in regret or frustration over the uncontrollable. Another key benefit of taking responsibility is that it builds self-confidence. When you own your actions and see positive results from your efforts, you start trusting yourself more. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding challenges or blaming others. It comes from facing situations head-on and knowing that no matter the outcome, you'll handle it with integrity and ownership. Over time, this creates a strong internal foundation for self-belief and resilience. Young people also need to realize that responsibility is a habit, not a one-time action. It needs to be practiced consistently in daily life. Small actions like completing assignments on time, being punctual, apologizing when wrong, or following through on commitments build the habit of responsibility over time. These seemingly small habits compound into larger life skills that shape character and success. Lastly, responsibility is liberating. Many young people associate it with restriction or extra pressure, but the truth is, taking responsibility frees you from the weight of excuses, blame, and denial. It gives you clarity because you're no longer distracted by external noise. Instead, your focus shifts to what you can do to improve, change, and grow. When young people realize this, they stop running from accountability and start embracing it as the key to their freedom and success. In essence, taking responsibility early is not just about improving academic performance, securing better job prospects, or building stronger relationships. It's about becoming a person of integrity and character. It's about stepping into adulthood with confidence, resilience, and a clear sense of purpose. Young people who embrace responsibility early set themselves apart in a world full of distractions and excuses, and that mindset becomes their greatest asset in every stage of life. In today's fast-paced world, instant gratification has become one of the biggest obstacles to long-term success, especially for young people. Social media, streaming platforms, and digital conveniences have conditioned our brains to expect quick results and immediate rewards. When you can get food delivered in minutes, receive instant feedback on social media posts, or binge watch an entire season of a show in one sitting, the concept of patience and long-term planning starts to feel outdated. However, true success, whether in academics, career, relationships, or personal growth, requires long-term vision, persistence, and a willingness to delay gratification. Young people must learn to focus on the bigger picture and prioritize future rewards over temporary pleasure. One of the key differences between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is their ability to delay gratification. This concept refers to the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in exchange for a greater reward later. For example, a student might choose to study for an exam instead of spending hours scrolling on their phone because they understand that academic success opens doors to better opportunities. Another example is saving money rather than spending it impulsively because of a long-term goal like buying a house or starting a business. These small but consistent choices accumulate over time and create significant outcomes. Young people often underestimate the power of small, consistent efforts compounded over time. They expect immediate results and lose motivation when they don't see instant progress. For instance, someone might start working out and expect to see visible changes within a week. When they don't, they quit. However, success in any area of life is not about quick bursts of effort, but about sustained, consistent action. Progress is often invisible in the beginning stages, but every small step contributes to the bigger goal. Whether it's studying for an exam, building a business, or learning a new skill, the key is to focus on the long-term vision rather than being distracted by the discomfort of delayed results. Instant gratification is also deeply tied to emotional regulation. Many young people turn to quick pleasures like scrolling endlessly on social media, binge eating unhealthy food, or procrastinating to avoid feelings of boredom, stress, or discomfort. However, these temporary escapes often lead to long-term regret and missed opportunities. Emotional maturity means being able to sit with discomfort, resist the urge for quick fixes, and stay focused on meaningful goals. Developing this emotional strength is critical for long-term success because the journey to any significant achievement is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Another challenge with instant gratification is that it often creates a cycle of dependency. The more we rely on quick hits of dopamine from short-term rewards, the harder it becomes to stay disciplined and focused on long-term goals. For example, if a young person spends hours on video games every day, they might feel temporary satisfaction, but over time, they will miss out on opportunities to grow, learn, and achieve meaningful success. Breaking free from this cycle requires intentional effort and self-discipline. It means identifying distractions, setting boundaries, and reminding yourself of the bigger picture every time you're tempted to choose short-term pleasure over long-term success. One effective strategy for focusing on long-term goals is to create a clear vision. Young people should ask themselves, where do I want to be in 5 years? What kind of life do I want to live? What steps do I need to take today to move closer to that vision? Writing down goals, creating a vision board, or keeping a journal can help clarify these objectives. When the vision is clear, it becomes easier to say no to distractions because every decision is evaluated based on whether it aligns with the bigger goal. Additionally, young people need to set milestones along the way. Long-term goals can feel overwhelming if they are viewed as a single massive task. Breaking them down into smaller, achievable milestones helps create a sense of progress and accomplishment. For example, if someone wants to start their own business, they can break the goal into smaller tasks, researching the industry, creating a business plan, and gradually building their product or service. Each milestone becomes a small victory that reinforces motivation and keeps them moving forward. Discipline is another crucial element in overcoming the lure of instant gratification. Motivation might get you started, but it's discipline that keeps you going when motivation fades. Young people often wait until they feel like it to take action, but the reality is that feelings are unreliable. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It means showing up every day and putting in the work, regardless of mood or circumstances. Developing routines and habits can make discipline easier because they eliminate the need to make constant decisions. Delayed gratification also builds character. The ability to wait, persevere, and remain committed to a goal despite obstacles teaches resilience and mental toughness. These qualities are not just useful for achieving success, they are essential for navigating life's challenges. Young people who learn to delay gratification are not only more successful in their careers, but also in their relationships, health, and personal development. TV. Failure is often seen as something negative, a sign of inadequacy, a reason to give up, or proof that success isn't meant for us. However, the reality is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is an essential part of the journey toward it. Young people, in particular, need to reframe their relationship with failure and see it as a stepping stone, not a dead end. Every failure contains a lesson, every setback offers growth, and every misstep reveals an opportunity for improvement. When failure is embraced with the right mindset, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for personal and professional development. One of the main reasons failure is feared is because of societal conditioning. From a young age, many individuals are taught to associate failure with shame, embarrassment, and inadequacy. Whether it's failing a test in school, losing a sports match, or making a mistake in front of others, failure often carries a heavy emotional burden. As a result, many young people become risk-averse, preferring to stay within their comfort zones rather than risk failure by attempting something ambitious or challenging. This fear of failure becomes a roadblock to growth, preventing individuals from taking chances, learning new skills, or pursuing their dreams. To overcome this fear, it's important to understand that failure is not final. Many of the world's most successful individuals have experienced significant failures before reaching their goals. For example, entrepreneurs who have built billion-dollar companies often failed in their early ventures. Authors who are now household names face countless rejections, and athletes who achieved greatness endured years of losses before tasting victory. The common thread among these individuals is that they did not let failure define them. Instead, they treated failure as feedback, a chance to learn what didn't work and adjust their approach accordingly. Failure also builds resilience, a trait that is indispensable for long-term success. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward despite difficulties. Without experiencing failure, it's difficult to build this kind of mental toughness. Young people who encounter failure early in life and learn to recover from it become better equipped to handle future challenges. They develop a mindset that views obstacles not as stop signs, but as opportunities to become stronger, smarter, and more resourceful. Moreover, failure provides clarity. Sometimes our initial plans don't work out because they're not aligned with our true purpose or because they're built on flawed assumptions. When we fail, we're given a chance to reassess our goals, refine our strategies, and focus on what truly matters. For example, someone might start a business thinking they're passionate about a certain industry, only to realize after failing that their true passion lies elsewhere. Failure can act as a compass, redirecting us toward paths that are more aligned with our purpose and strengths. Young people must also understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth. Too often, individuals internalize failure and allow it to become part of their identity. They start believing thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or I'm a failure. However, failure is simply an event, not a person. It's something that happens that doesn't define who you are. Separating your self-worth from your failures is crucial for maintaining a healthy mindset and continuing to pursue your goals without being paralyzed by fear or self-doubt. Another key lesson from failure is the importance of persistence. Success rarely happens on the first try, and those who achieve greatness are often the ones who refuse to give up, even in the face of repeated failures. Think of failure as a refining process. Every attempt, even if unsuccessful, brings you one step closer to your goal by teaching you something valuable. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This perspective highlights the importance of persistence and the willingness to keep trying despite setbacks. It's also important to surround yourself with the right people when facing failure. Supportive mentors, friends, and family members can provide encouragement, perspective, and practical advice. They can remind you that failure is temporary and that your potential isn't limited by one setback. On the other hand, being surrounded by negativity or criticism can make it harder to recover from failure. Young people should seek out environments that foster growth, resilience, and encouragement, especially during challenging times. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds us that we don't have all the answers, that we're still growing, and that there's always room for improvement. Humility allows us to approach challenges with an open mind, ask for help when needed, and accept constructive feedback without defensiveness. When young people learn to embrace humility through failure, they become more adaptable and open to learning qualities that are essential for long-term success. Lastly, failure fosters innovation and creativity. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history happen as a result of failure. Scientists, inventors, and entrepreneurs often stumble upon their most significant discoveries after countless failed attempts. When young people stop fearing failure and start experimenting with bold ideas, they unlock their creative potential. They start thinking outside the box, challenging conventional norms, and finding innovative solutions to complex problems. In the grand scheme of life, failure is not something to be avoided, it's something to be embraced. Every failure carries a lesson, and every setback is an opportunity for growth. Young people must learn to view failure as a necessary part of the journey towards success, not as an endpoint. When failure is approached with the right mindset, it becomes a powerful teacher, a motivator, and a stepping stone toward achieving one's dreams. By embracing failure, young people can unlock their potential, overcome obstacles, and build a foundation for a fulfilling and successful life. In today's fast-paced world, emotional intelligence and self-awareness are two of the most critical yet often overlooked skills that young people need to develop. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and express one's emotions effectively while also being able to recognize and influence the emotions of others. Self-awareness, on the other hand, is the ability to understand one's own thoughts, motivations, and behaviors. These two qualities go hand in hand, forming the foundation for personal growth, strong relationships, and professional success. Without emotional intelligence and self-awareness, young people may find themselves reacting impulsively to challenges, struggling to build meaningful connections, and feeling lost in their pursuits. At the core of emotional intelligence lies the ability to recognize and name emotions. Many young people grow up without learning how to identify what they are feeling or why they are feeling it. But this lack of emotional vocabulary can lead to frustration, miscommunication, and an inability to address emotional needs. For example, someone might feel anger in a situation but not realize that the root cause of their anger is actually fear, embarrassment, or insecurity. Emotional intelligence teaches individuals to pause, reflect, and accurately identify their emotions. This simple yet powerful skill can prevent unnecessary conflict, reduce stress, and foster healthier responses to challenges. Once emotions are identified, the next step is learning how to manage them. Emotional regulation is a vital aspect of emotional intelligence and can make the difference between responding thoughtfully or reacting impulsively. Young people often face emotionally charged situations, whether it's dealing with academic pressure, peer conflicts, or personal insecurities. Without emotional regulation, emotions like anger, sadness, or anxiety can become overwhelming and lead to poor decision-making. For instance, someone who cannot regulate their anger might lash out at a friend or family member, damaging a relationship they value. Emotional intelligence equips individuals with techniques to stay calm under pressure, express their feelings constructively, and prevent emotions from controlling their actions. Self-awareness plays a critical role in this process because it provides clarity about one's emotional triggers and patterns. Self-aware individuals have a deeper understanding of what drives their reactions and behaviors. They can recognize when they are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or defensive, and they can take proactive steps to address these feelings. For example, a self-aware student might realize that their procrastination stems from a fear of failure rather than laziness. By acknowledging this, they can address the root cause of their behavior instead of merely criticizing themselves for being unproductive. This level of insight fosters personal growth and helps individuals break free from destructive cycles. Empathy is another essential component of emotional intelligence. It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, and it is key to building strong, meaningful relationships. But in a world where digital communication often replaces face-to-face interaction, empathy is more important than ever. Young people who develop empathy are better able to connect with others, resolve conflicts, and navigate social dynamics with grace. Empathy also reduces prejudice and fosters compassion, creating a more inclusive and understanding environment. For example, a student who notices a classmate feeling isolated might reach out and offer support simply because they can recognize and relate to that feeling of loneliness. Emotional intelligence also enhances decision-making. Emotions are often dismissed as irrational or unhelpful in logical decision-making, but the truth is that emotions provide valuable information. For instance, fear can signal potential danger, while excitement can indicate alignment with one's passions. Emotionally intelligent individuals learn to listen to their emotions without being ruled by them. They balance emotional input with rational analysis, leading to more thoughtful and effective decisions. For example, someone might feel nervous about taking on a challenging project, but instead of letting fear stop them, they acknowledge the fear and use it as motivation to prepare thoroughly. In the context of leadership, emotional intelligence is a game changer. Whether leading a team in school, managing a group project, or eventually stepping into professional leadership roles, emotional intelligence sets great leaders apart from average ones. Leaders with high emotional intelligence inspire trust, motivate their team, and handle conflicts with poise. They are able to read the emotional atmosphere of a room, address concerns proactively, and create an environment where everyone feels valued and understood. Young people who aspire to leadership roles must prioritize emotional intelligence as a foundational skill. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence also contribute to better mental health. When individuals understand and manage their emotions effectively, they are less likely to become overwhelmed by stress, anxiety, or depression. Emotional intelligence fosters resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and face challenges head-on. A young person with strong emotional intelligence might face failure or rejection but still maintain their sense of self-worth and optimism. They are more likely to seek help when they need it and practice self-care habits that support their mental well-being. Furthermore, emotional intelligence enhances communication skills. Effective communication isn't just about choosing the right words, it's also about understanding the emotional context of a conversation. Emotionally intelligent individuals listen actively, pick up on nonverbal cues, and respond with empathy and clarity. For example, in a heated argument, an emotionally intelligent person might pause to acknowledge the other person's feelings before sharing their perspective, leading to a more productive and less confrontational discussion. Consistency and discipline are two cornerstones of success that cannot be overlooked, especially for young people navigating the complexities of life. These principles act as the bridge between setting goals and actually achieving them. While talent, intelligence, or ambition may give someone a head start, it's consistency and discipline that ensure they cross the finish line. In today's world of instant gratification, where success is often portrayed as something quick and easy, understanding the true power of consistency and discipline is more important than ever. These two traits are not just about working hard, but about showing up every day, even when motivation is low, and staying committed to the process rather than just the outcome. Discipline begins with understanding the importance of delayed gratification. Young people are often surrounded by distractions, social media notifications, streaming platforms, or the constant lure of short-term pleasure. Discipline teaches individuals to prioritize long-term benefits over short-term satisfaction. For example, a student who practices discipline will choose to study for an upcoming exam rather than spending hours scrolling through their phone. It's not because they don't want the immediate pleasure of relaxation, but because they recognize that the rewards of discipline, better grades, improved knowledge, and future opportunities are far more valuable. This mindset shift is crucial because success rarely comes overnight. It is built one disciplined decision at a time. Consistency, on the other hand, focuses on repetition and reliability. It's not about making one grand effort, but about small, consistent actions that compound over time. Consider someone who wants to become physically fit. Going to the gym once a month and working out intensely for hours will not yield significant results. However, working out for just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, will create noticeable and sustainable progress over time. Consistency doesn't require perfection, it requires commitment. Many young people give up on their goals because they expect immediate results. When they don't see instant success, they lose motivation and abandon their efforts. However, those who understand the value of consistency recognize that results are often invisible in the beginning stages but compound exponentially over time. Discipline also plays a crucial role in building habits. Habits are the backbone of any successful individual, and they are formed through repeated actions over time. It takes discipline to wake up early, read every day, or stick to a productive routine. However, once these actions become habits, they no longer require as much willpower. For example, a young entrepreneur who disciplines themselves to spend an hour each day learning about business strategies will eventually find it second nature to dedicate time to self-improvement. The initial effort required to build the habit might feel challenging, but the long-term payoff is immense. When discipline turns into habit, success becomes almost automatic because the daily actions that lead to growth are already embedded into one's routine. One of the biggest challenges in maintaining consistency and discipline is overcoming procrastination. Procrastination is often rooted in fear of failure, fear of success, or even fear of discomfort. Young people may delay tasks because they feel overwhelmed or uncertain about how to begin. Discipline is the antidote to procrastination because it teaches individuals to take action regardless of how they feel. A disciplined person understands that waiting for motivation is unreliable because motivation is fleeting. Instead, they rely on habits and routines to push through moments of doubt or laziness. This is a powerful lesson because success often requires doing things even when you don't feel like doing them. Consistency also builds trust and credibility, not just with others, but with oneself. When someone consistently follows through on their commitments, they develop self-trust. This internal confidence becomes a driving force in pursuing larger goals. For instance, a young person who consistently meets deadlines and follows through on promises will naturally earn the trust of teachers, peers, or future employers. On a personal level, they will also develop a sense of reliability and self-respect because they know they can depend on themselves to follow through on their goals. In contrast, inconsistency erodes confidence and creates a cycle of disappointment and self-doubt. Another critical aspect of consistency and discipline is their ability to build resilience. Life is filled with setbacks, failures, and moments of uncertainty. Discipline ensures that a person keeps moving forward, even when the path is unclear or progress seems slow. Consistency ensures that even small steps taken daily add up over time. For example, a young writer who commits to writing 500 words every day, regardless of how inspired they feel, will eventually have a completed book. Discipline keeps the writer at their desk, and consistency ensures the work progresses. This resilience becomes a powerful advantage in a world where many people quit at the first sign of difficulty. Time management is another area where consistency and discipline shine. With so many competing priorities, young people often struggle to manage their time effectively. Discipline helps in prioritizing tasks based on importance, while consistency ensures these tasks are completed regularly. A student who allocates specific hours for studying every day will perform better than one who crams the night before an exam. Consistent time management reduces stress, prevents last-minute panic, and improves overall productivity. The beauty of discipline and consistency is that they are universally applicable. Whether someone wants to excel in academics, sports, art, business, or personal growth, these two principles remain relevant. They provide a framework for success that transcends specific goals or fields of interest. For example, an athlete who trains daily and sticks to a nutrition plan will see results, just as an artist who practices their craft every day will improve their skills. Discipline and consistency are not about talent, they are about effort and commitment, which means anyone can cultivate them with the right mindset. Ultimately, young people need to understand that success is not about occasional brilliance, but about showing up consistently and doing the work day after day. Discipline creates the structure, and consistency builds the momentum. Together, they form an unstoppable force that leads to meaningful and sustainable results. While it may not always be glamorous or exciting, the compound effect of small, consistent actions over time is what truly creates extraordinary outcomes. Those who learn to embrace consistency and discipline at a young age set themselves up for a lifetime of achievement, resilience, and fulfillment. In a world driven by constant control, planning, and the pursuit of immediate outcomes, the concept of letting go and trusting the process feels counterintuitive to many, especially young people. Society often celebrates those who seem to have their entire lives meticulously mapped out with step-by-step plans and rigid expectations for how things should unfold. However, life rarely adheres to our carefully crafted blueprints. Unexpected challenges, failures, and detours are inevitable. The ability to let go and trust the process is not about giving up control entirely, but rather about understanding that certain outcomes are beyond our influence. It's about having faith in the journey, even when the destination seems uncertain, and recognizing that everything happens for a reason, even if that reason isn't immediately clear. One of the most significant barriers to letting go is fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown. These fears often keep young people trapped in cycles of overthinking and analysis paralysis. They may spend endless hours worrying about things they can't control, such as other people's opinions, market conditions, or external factors that are simply out of their hands. This fear-driven mindset creates unnecessary stress, reduces productivity, and in many cases prevents individuals from taking meaningful action. Trusting the process requires letting go of these fears and understanding that not every step of the journey needs to be perfectly planned or executed. The mistakes, setbacks, and challenges are not signs of failure, they are integral parts of growth. Letting go also involves accepting that some outcomes are not meant to be forced. Many young people expend enormous energy trying to force situations, relationships, or opportunities that aren't aligned with their true path. They may chase after jobs that aren't fulfilling, maintain friendships that are draining, or pursue goals simply because they look impressive to others. However, forcing things rarely leads to genuine success or happiness. Trusting the process means understanding that what is meant for you will find its way to you, and what isn't meant for you will naturally fall away. This doesn't mean sitting back passively and waiting for life to happen. It means putting in the effort, doing your best, and then releasing attachment to the outcome. Another key aspect of letting go and trusting the process is learning to embrace uncertainty. Uncertainty can be deeply uncomfortable because it represents a lack of control. Young people are often taught to fear uncertainty, viewing it as a sign of instability or weakness. However, uncertainty is where growth happens. It's in the moments when the path forward is unclear that individuals are forced to dig deep, innovate, and build resilience. When someone learns to let go of their need for certainty, they open themselves up to new possibilities, opportunities, and experiences they may have never considered before. Life often has a way of surprising us with outcomes far better than anything we could have planned ourselves, but those surprises can only happen when we release our grip on control. Trusting the process also requires patience, something that many young people struggle with in today's fast-paced, instant gratification culture. Social media and technology have conditioned people to expect immediate results, whether it's likes on a post, rapid career growth, or instant success in their endeavors. However, meaningful achievements take time. Building a successful business, mastering a skill, or developing strong relationships doesn't happen overnight. Trusting the process means understanding that progress isn't always linear, and that sometimes the most significant growth happens during the quiet, seemingly unproductive moments. It's about staying committed to your goals, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Letting go also involves trusting yourself. Many young people struggle with self-doubt and second-guess their decisions at every turn. They may constantly seek external validation, looking to others for approval before taking action. This reliance on outside opinions can be paralyzing and prevent individuals from moving forward confidently. Trusting the process means having faith in your own abilities, instincts, and choices. It's about recognizing that you have the tools, knowledge, and inner strength to handle whatever challenges come your way. Self-trust doesn't mean you'll always make the right decision, but it does mean you'll have the resilience to adapt, learn, and grow from every experience. An essential part of letting go is focusing on what you can control and releasing what you can't. Many young people spend vast amounts of emotional and mental energy worrying about things they have no influence over. For example, they might stress about someone else's actions, the economy, or whether others approve of their choices. This type of worry is exhausting and ultimately fruitless. Instead, focusing on controllable factors, your effort, your attitude, your response to challenges empowers you to take meaningful action while releasing unnecessary stress. This mindset shift is incredibly liberating because it frees up mental space and emotional energy for things that truly matter. Another benefit of letting go and trusting the process is improved mental and emotional well-being.